that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Main Evening News for 1830. The headlines. Two former ZRA customs officers convicted for corruption. Zambia calls for UNHCR and international organizations to increase local employment. Ugandan MPs reject birth control for 15-year-old girls. And now the news in detail. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has today convicted and sentenced two former Zambia Revenue Authority customs officers to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor for corrupt practices involving over 40,000 kwacha. In presiding over the matter, Honorable Ntandose Chabala said the prosecution had proved its case beyond all reasonable doubt and therefore found Caroline Moyo Mukelebai and Gilbert Kembe Mainza guilty as charged in Count 1 of abuse of authority of office and Count 2 of corrupt practices by public officer and convicted them accordingly. The court then proceeded to sentence Gilbert Mainza to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor in the first count and 18 months imprisonment with hard labor in the second count. Meanwhile, Caroline Mukelebai was sentenced to 3 years simple imprisonment in the first count and 18 months simple imprisonment in the second count. The sentence is effective today and will run concurrently. In 2015, the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, jointly arrested and charged the duo with 1 count of abuse of authority of office contrary to the Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012 and 1 of the corrupt practices by public office officer contrary to the Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012 respectively. ACC Head of Corporate Communications Timothy Mono has confirmed the development to 5FM News.
In presiding over this matter, the Honorable Magistrate Ntandose Chabala find that the prosecutions had proved the case beyond all reasonable doubt and has jailed Caroline Moyo Mukelebai and Gilbert Kembe Mainza on the first count to 3 years imprisonment with hard labor. In the second count, Gilbert Mainza has also been imprisoned and sentenced to 18 months imprisonment with hard labor, whilst Caroline has been sentenced to 18 months simple imprisonment in that same count. The Commission wishes to warn any perpetrator of corruption that the law will catch up with them at any time, no matter how long it takes.
Zambia has appealed to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, and other international organizations to employ more Zambians to work for their organizations. Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, made an appeal through UNHCR High Commissioner, Mr. Filippo Grandi, saying that Zambia has qualified citizens to work for international organizations, but only few were recruited. The minister made an appeal when he met Mr. Grandi on the sidelines of the ongoing 74th session of the Executive Committee of the High Commissioner's Program in Geneva on 11th October 2023. Mr. Mwimbu informed the High Commissioner that it was disheartening to learn that very few Zambians were given opportunities to serve in international organizations like UNHCR, both locally and internationally, despite the country being a member state of the organizations. The minister further expressed concern over the continued trimming of the operational budget for refugee management provided by UNHCR to the government when the country was hosting a huge number of asylum seekers and refugees. Responding to the minister's concerns, Mr. Grandi assured Mr. Mwimbu that he would look into his request, considering that Zambia has been an all-weather friend of the UNHCR and that the country has been hosting refugees since the 1940s. The High Commissioner also informed the minister that UNHCR was looking at ways of ensuring the operational budget was increased by lobbying other international donors to consider allocating more funds for refugee management in Zambia. This is according to a statement issued by Office of the Commissioner for Refugees, Public Relations Officer Jim Chibwe. The Ministry of Finance and National Planning has disclosed that it released 2.1 billion kwacha towards payment of both domestic and external debt in September 2023. The ministry also released 213 million kwacha towards dismantling of arrears owed to suppliers of goods and services. This is out of the total 12 billion kwacha which was released to finance public service delivery. Reflecting on the budget execution, Finance Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane says the journey to economic transformative the country embraced in 2021 requires government to unlock the potential of the country and build resilience. Meanwhile, Dr. Msokotwane has described the ongoing annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group as progressive, engaging, reassuring, and a benchmarking platform for consolidating Zambia's attractiveness as one of Africa's best performers and investment destination. He has appealed to the World Bank's International Finance Corporation for faster progress in preparing scoping documentation for public-private partnership initiatives related to transport, infrastructure, petroleum pipeline, and development of farm blocks. The Disability Rights Watch has called on the National Mental Health Council to implement the directives from both the High Court and Supreme Court to urgently improve the quality of mental health services provided by public mental health institutions. The organization has also called on the government through the Minister of Health to move quickly in setting up the Mental Health Council in line with the Mental Health Act of 2019. Organization Programs Coordinator Bruce Choma says Zambia must take bold steps to affirm the right to mental health. Mr. Choma says these steps include investing resources in ensuring mental health services are available at primary health care level and the provision of community-based support systems to ensure families and communities play an active role in promoting mental wellness, among others. He says in light of the World Mental Health Day, which was commemorated yesterday under the theme Mental Health is a Universal Human Right, it is imperative to acknowledge the importance of ensuring that every individual has access to mental health services and support.
Disability Rights Watch calls upon the Zambian government through the Ministry of Health to expedite the process of putting in place the Mental Health Council as provided for in the Mental Health Act of 2019. The council is very important in realizing the issue of ensuring that there is quality and accessible mental health services across the country. It's important as we observe Mental Health Day on the 10th of October yesterday to realize that to promote mental health as a human rights issue.
The National Health Insurance Management Authority, NIMA, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Zamtel to implement the instructed supplementary service data, making monthly contributions easier for NIMA members. Speaking during the launch, NIMA Director General Michael Njapau says the authority continues to strive for universal health coverage for all Zambian citizens, irrespective of their socio-economic status. Mr. Njapau has pointed out that the National Health Insurance Act No. 2 of 2018 requires every Zambian and established resident to register and make contributions. He says, therefore, the Zamtel USSD platform strategy was formulated with the interest of the esteemed members who are in self-employment and the majority of the Zambian workforce in the informal sector in mind.
The NIMA payment portal is now open to all areas of Zambia, and the USSD platform is also available on all mobile devices, which supports our desire to witness every citizen of Zambia accessing the healthcare services regardless of their social and economic status. The integration of the USSD technology on the scheme will add value in revolutionizing the way our members conduct transactions, making it more accessible and user-friendly for every member of the city. This means that anyone with basic mobile phone can seamlessly eliminating barriers by smartphone or internet availability.
And Zamtel Acting Chief Executive Officer Yusab Kara says the service is available for all features of mobile phones, whether with or without internet access. He says the USSD enables the NEMA members to check for their status on the platform.
This service comes with is the enablement of members to check the status of their NEMA. I think we heard DG very clearly that we have a situation at present around NEMA where 90% of the contributions are coming from the formal sector, and yet the people that are accessing the services are from the informal sector. So with this service that we've launched today, we are hoping that we are enabling another leg to the members of, members of NEMA, customers of Zamtel, to be able to contribute so that the next time we meet, we are launching another product.
Chief Monze of Southern Province has acknowledged the value that Rusangu University has added to his chiefdom by impacting in his subjects' academic standards and Christian values. Speaking when Rusangu University Vice-Chancellor Dorababu Tedepali paid a courtesy call on him yesterday, the traditional leader was particularly impressed with the educational philosophy of the university. The traditional leader, through his great-grandfather, played a fundamental role in offering land to establish the Rusangu mission in the early 1900s. And Dr. Tadapali, the Vice-Chancellor of Rusangu University, expressed his willingness to collaborate with the chief and enhance the development of both the university and his chiefdom. The Vice-Chancellor was impressed by His Royal Highness' wisdom in managing the affairs of the chiefdom. This is contained in a statement issued by University Corporate Communications, Marketing and Public Relations Manager Lee Hamunji. Another story trending this evening. The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council has congratulated Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, Nelly Muti, for being awarded as the Commonwealth Parliamentarian of the Year 2023. The Zambia National Education Coalition, ZANEC, has appealed to the government to ensure that all progressive gender legislations and policies are fully implemented. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Tourism Minister Rodney Sikumba has directed the Tourism Council of Zambia and Zambia Tourism Agency to start reporting the sector's economic contribution in 2024 away from the traditional international and domestic tourist arrivals. Speaking at the Tourism Stakeholders Engagement Cocktail at Ciela Resort in Chongwe last night, the minister said government has shown its commitment to supporting the tourism sector by a continuous increase in the annual budget from 400 kwacha in 2022, 500 Zambian kwacha in 2023, and jump to 700 million kwacha in 2024. Mr. Sikumba said for this reason, the players have no excuse but to report positive contributions to taxes, employment contribution, and investment contribution to motivate government to pump in more money in the sector. He pledged continued government support as long as the state indicators are met to confirm that the sector is of economic nature now, similar to mining, agriculture, energy, and manufacturing.
How much contribution the tourism sector has contributed in terms of employment how much contribution the tourism sector has contributed in terms of investment. Those three is what I want to hear. We're spending a lot of money and we'll continue pumping money for as long as those three indicators in my books and in my eyes are very, very visible. You will have a bottomless pit of support from my ministry rather. So it's very, very important that we join the league of mining because we're an economic sector. We join the league of agriculture because we're an economic sector, that of energy and manufacturing.
The minister said government has shown its commitment to supporting the tourism sector by a continuous increase in the annual budget from 400 million kwacha in 2022 to 500 million kwacha in 2023 and jump to 700 million kwacha in 2024. And Tourism Council of Zambia chairperson Yusuf Zumla appreciated the dedication shown by government in policy formulation that has seen the sector grow.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news, Ugandan lawmakers have rejected a government proposal to allow 15-year-old girls to access birth control pills to reduce high levels of pregnancy. Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa called the idea devilish, saying it would formalize defilement of girls. A senior health ministry official said the stigma around young people using contraceptives should end. Nearly a quarter of 15 to 19-year-old girls in Uganda are either pregnant or are already mothers, a survey says. Here's a rundown from the BBC.
The military junta that seized power in Niger has demanded the head of the UN mission leave within 72 hours. It accuses the UN of using what it calls underhand maneuvers to prevent Niger from participating in last month's UN General Assembly. The junta, which in July overthrew Niger's democratically elected president Mohamed Bazoum, has ordered French troops to leave. The humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip continues to deteriorate as Israel bombards the crowded territory for a fifth day following Hamas's incursion. Shortages of food are reported as the Israeli blockade bites. Officials say Israeli attacks have now killed more than 1,000 people. Gilad Nel in Jerusalem considers the response from Israelis to what Israel is doing to combat Saturday's attacks. The Israeli army is shelling an area in southern Lebanon in response to anti-tank fire from across the border. It's the latest incident to raise concern about extended fighting in the war between Israel and Hamas.
And finally, in sports news, Prison Leopards Football Club have confirmed the resignation of head coach Albert Kachinga from his position as head coach with immediate effect. The club says physical trainer Joseph Musonda has also tendered his resignation letter effective 10th October 2023. Assistant coach Collins Mlenga will take charge of the team in the interim, together with goalkeeper coach Eugene Chichao. Club chairperson, Deputy Commissioner George Sikaonga, has, on behalf of the club, thanked Kachinga and Musonda for their achievements, dedication, and hard work rendered to the club during their stay. This is contained in a statement issued by Prison Leopards Football Club media officer Kingsley Kunda. And now the weather report brought to you by Class Econ.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The whole country will mostly be clear, slightly windy and warm to mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that item brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Two former ZRA customs officers convicted for corruption. Zambia calls on UNHCR and international organizations to increase local employment. Ugandan MPs reject birth control for 15-year-old girls. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy Word of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Marpe. Good evening.